might do some backblading down here for the load area. Looks like it's drifted a bit. Not a lot, but a bit. Bumpy anyway. Average, wasn't it? We have to get better at that. Should be better at that, but I think I'll need more practice on this one. Because everything's a bit new and tight, it's sort of not got much feel in it yet, because it's so tight that it doesn't wobble a little bit. Sometimes a little bit of wobble is helpful because it lets you know that the blade's sitting level on the snow, or if it's only touching in one corner. There is a line on that tower somewhere to show us the ideal level, but obviously it's buried. Very responsive, which I like. Doesn't feel like there's any ambiguity in the input that you're putting into the machine and what it's giving you back. Everything reacts the way I'd expect it to react, which is good. It's what you want in a machine that you're going to be using for detail work. That's not really detail work. It feels like it because I'm still getting used to this blade and it's just fresh snow. But yeah, I'm meaning detail work as in actually working in the park with it. The one thing we used to do, or they used to do I should say, in Salon was they would put the wipers on this side so that they went that way and back again, not ending up on that side, because depending where you're sitting it blocks part of that mirror on the right hand side, makes it a bit hard to see. You do notice it when you jump in a cat that doesn't have the wipers set up that way. I dare say it feels as heavy as a 600. Does feel pretty weighty. I would imagine because the sting is longer, the tiller is hanging further out from the back of the cat too, which gives you a bit of a bobbing motion in certain circumstances. I don't make very big safety berms or catch berms around here for the T-line. I'm not entirely sure why, but there you go. Good thing about this being so long and you can articulate the blade so much, you don't have to back blade those because they're very shallow on their attack angle. So you can actually just drive past with the blade curled back and it creates sort of a batter cutter really. It's just steep enough to shave that off. Dumbo is quite slow. No, they're both quite slow. I don't know why that is. I think they can be adjusted. Usually really fast. It's a good thing about these when you're coming up to one of these poles. If you're dropping a Dumbo here to sort of pack the snow down between them, you can quickly flip them up and drop them back down again without worrying about hitting it. But these are pretty slow, so might have to adjust them. It's not quite the angle I wanted to have there. Just double passing this so I've got something fresh to climb up, because it splays out quite wide, this slope, so I'll end up running over most of this twice anyway. But it helps me straighten up my down pass and up pass by starting in the other pass and then working my way slowly across. Probably see that on the camera, the bald patches I'm leaving, and I'm pretty sure that is from, I call it using the heel of the blade. It's basically, I can't really point to it right now, but the point where your wing bends off from the straight middle section of the blade, if you don't get the blade high enough with the right amount of curl, you dig that little V into the snow and it leaves those little bald patches basically. So it's just me trying to find where the right point is to have the blade height and cut to not leave those little trenches basically. Leaving a few of them, so I'm obviously not running to enough cut. It doesn't help that there's so much snow on top of the blade. Definitely left one there. Because you can usually see the top of the blade, and that angle gives you a bit of a reference point as to what the bottom of the blade's doing. But yeah, I didn't have time to clean that off. See if this doesn't climb at this time, I'll just have to down pass this little section. Doesn't look steep, but it is relatively steep, and now it's really soft because it's drifted quite a bit. There we go. Did it. See if it came out any good, but it climbed it. That's one plus. I do want to do a nicer job of that, but it is somewhat tight against that top tower to backblade that catch berm. I don't really want to hit the tiller on my first night in this thing. Looks average, but yeah, so does a broken tiller. It's the same thing, I keep going out, and so if I can go roughly get my wing lined up with the outside of that, drop straight down it, and then that should mean I don't have to turn a sharp next time I come up. It's put me into this pass again, but I'm going to be in this pass again anyway, because it's a narrow section and then it's going to widen out again. But I could go too far with that too and end up cutting back on myself. Or spilling snow into my last pass. Definitely left one. Also, parked blade geometry is a bit different to your standard blade geometry in the way there's a ram that's placed in a different spot, the centre ram, and it makes, on your standard grooming cats, that means that the blade lifts parallel to the blade frame, or to the cab basically. It's so dark there. I don't know if there's lights out or what's going on there. Yeah, so when you lift your blade, it stays at the same angle, kind of like a wheel loader. If you lift your arm up in the air, the bucket stays at the same level basically. It sort of does this. Whereas when you lift a park blade, it doesn't stay parallel. It just stays in line with the bottom of the frame basically, so it lifts up like that rather than like that, if that makes any sense whatsoever. That just means you're doing a lot more movements on a park cat when you're grooming, because you're constantly having to adjust for the contours of the ground, which keeps you thinking. It's nice sometimes. I don't like thinking too hard, it makes my head hurt. Turning around in here and not really worried about it because that's not open. It's just a cat track at this stage. If it was open, I'd probably still turn around in here and then just clean it up at the end. It's a decent layer of snow. It's probably about 1.5 meters thick there. It's going to ruin my pattern. I should have done this pass first. Still working it out in my head. There you go. First. Oh well. Just ruining my own pattern. It's okay. We're learning tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Mostly gentlemen, I imagine. If there's any ladies watching this channel, good on you. Thank you. Also, thanks to everybody. Can I use the other camera? I can't remember. I don't remember how to do it. Because there is another camera. There's two cameras on these. There's one on the frame behind the winch, and then there's another one on the actual tiller. And the one on the actual tiller is really handy when you're in a winch cat and you want to back up to something like I'm doing now, like a ticket gate or a lift tower or something, because it shows you basically exactly where the mats are going to land. And it would be quite handy in this thing, building park, so that you don't drop your tiller on a rail. What I should do. Perfectly good pattern, but that's alright. Back up again, straighten this up a little bit more. Got snow on my roof. Thought it would have all fallen off by now. So there's an example of how the blade on that lifts. It's yeah, it doesn't stay like that. It curls back on itself. Great for building jumps. Really good for building everything, actually. Both the ski resorts I've worked at in the southern hemisphere have 400 park cats as their free cats, because they're just so versatile for building things and digging out buildings and just shaping lift lines and just general shaping. Very handy blades. They go all the way up. Get so much articulation out of them. That's crazy. Should be more than enough. Jerky movements. Who's this guy? already know, but I think this joystick is the tits. That's such a good joystick. But I've met people that hate it. One of my good friends in Australia, he can't stand it. Loves the Bison joystick, the new one, which I think it's better than the old one, but I'm not 100% sold on it. I still find it a bit clunky, and it just awkward hand position. Whereas this, you just slap your hand on it, and then your thumb. I've got big hands, not to brag, but my thumb reaches everything pretty easy on this without having to move too far. Whereas on the Bison joystick, I just feel like I'm constantly shifting my hand to reach things, and it's not nice. I don't like that. But each to their own. But I just like this joystick. The whole articulation for the blade and the slew being your actual wrist movement just makes things so much easier rather than clicking in buttons and moving it. That way a bit more, but never mind. Not sure why, but I am taking a bit to adjust to night shifts this time around. Usually not too bad, but I'm working the graveyard shift basically 10 until 8-ish. And yeah, it's just been a bit of a struggle to get used to it this year. Must be getting old. I think because previously I've just sort of flown here and then gone straight to night, so my brain just gets used to it immediately. Coming off the plane with jet lag, just sleep and then go to work. But I did do that when I came here, but I went straight to work on days. So I was just getting used to day shift, and now I'm on nights. So I've been on nights for 3 nights now. So yeah, I haven't gotten my sleep sorted out yet, which is a bit rough, but there you go. That's night shift life for you. Seems like I'm being a bit aggressive on the sticks because they're really stiff. I think my foot's reacting before the hand controlling the sticks has. So it's a little bit jerky on my forward to reverse. I could blame being tired instead, but that sounds more feasible. And it's these sticky sticks. They're just what brand new sticks feel like, just a bit stiff.